Alright, so we are on the boat. Here we go. Gonna figure this out.
Oh jeez.
Alright, so today we're gonna be talking about Pascal's wager, which was pretty much an inevitable video because it comes up all the time on these discussions about Christianity and atheism and whatnot. So it actually comes. Oh, sorry. It comes up.
No, it's okay.
She's very feisty. She's not even in the camera right now, so we're in danger of falling out of the boat. So bear with us. But yeah, it comes up a little bit too often in my opinion. It's not as good an argument as people make it out to be.
Oh, I can talk now?
Sure.
Alright, so Pascal was actually this really awesome guy and a really awesome chameleon in the movie Tangled.
Yeah. It's like 4 out of 5 guys that people that watch my video are going to be dudes that have no idea what Tangled is. But
it's a good Disney movie.
Yeah, so he actually was a brilliant guy, probably a genius actually. And if you want to know more information about him as a person, rather than just this argument that people have latched onto, then I really recommend one of my friend SisyphusRedeemed's videos. He's actually a philosopher outside of YouTube, and his video is really high quality. So I'll put a link down below, you can check it out. Yeah, so his argument basically boils down to a type of wager. I'm talking about Pascal.
So it's pretty much a bet, and it says that if you're a Christian and you believe in the existence of God, then you have 2 options. Waiting for the wind.
It's all good. Go for it.
Alright, so it pretty much states that if you believe in the existence of God and you're a Christian, you have 2 options. If God does exist in the end, and you lived your life fully and good and well, then there will be a heaven at the end, an infinite gain. And if you don't, then... Not if you don't. Then if there is no God, if there's no God, then you have a finite loss, meaning that you lived a good life, and you lived charitably and wonderfully, and after you die, there's no heaven to welcome you, and whatever would happen when you die happens.
Alright, so the flip side of that coin is that if you're an atheist, you also have 2 choices. Either God exists or he doesn't. If he does exist, then you end up going to hell, which would be an infinite loss. And if he doesn't exist, then you get a finite gain. Say you didn't have to spend money on tithe or waste time going to church or that. So it basically boils down to a bet. Which would you like better, to have an infinite gain or a finite gain? And if there's a 50-50 chance of having either, which one would you go with?
The infinite gain.
So that would be Pascal's point, is that if you're making a bet between 2 equally probable options, one entails a finite gain, then you should put your smart money on getting the infinite gain.
There's nothing to lose.
Right. So people often critique this argument. Some of the critiques are good, some of them are really lacking, but ultimately I don't think it matters, and we'll get to why that is in a minute. But first I want to cover one of the benefits of this argument, if you can call it that. Some might view it as a weakness. And that is that mathematically, Pascal's wager works whether there's a 50-50 chance that God exists, or whether there's a 99% chance that he doesn't, and only a 1% chance that he does. Because just how the mathematics works. So let's say not every bet you take is going to be 50-50. Let's say there's only a 1 in chance that you're going to win. Let's think of a number here.
1 in 10.
1 in 10 of winning what?
$1 million.
$1 million. All right. So if there's a 1 in 10 chance of winning $1 million and you have to put $1 to get in, obviously you're going to take the bet. You'll probably take the bet a whole bunch of times. Because it's a good bet, even though it's not, your odds aren't 50-50. Well, the same thing applies with Pascal's bet here. If there's infinite gains, then it would always be rational to take the bet to wager that God exists, just by how it works. And it almost seems like his argument is rigged to win no matter what you set the odds up. So I don't know if you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm going to explain in a minute why I think that's ultimately irrelevant. So despite all the critiques of Pascal's argument, I think one that stands out the most is that the argument is not about truth at all. So even if Pascal's wager works, it doesn't make it any more likely that God actually exists. So if truth is your goal, then Pascal's wager is not going to help you out. And that's the other points. Okay, another big problem that comes up, try not to crash this in the shore here.
We're gonna fall.
Is,
we're gonna die.
yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
Oh my god, ducks! Do you see? Those are ducks, right?
Yeah, they are.
Oh my god, those are ducks.
So, the other problem that I come across is that it seems to be like Pascal's just asking you to believe or disbelieve in God based upon the consequences. And I don't think people can actually do that. I don't think you can just fake it until you make it. Like, if you decide that it is a good idea to avoid the potential existence of hell, then that would be like just making yourself believe God's existence. And I just don't think that's how it works. But to be fair to Pascal, he's actually a pretty brilliant dude. He didn't consider that objection. He's probably really loud.
He's a very funny chameleon.
So he actually argued that you could fake it till you make it. That if you lived out a life going to church and practicing religion, that eventually genuine belief would follow. I don't really think that's how it works, but there are some people who argue fairly persuasively that is the case. One of my friends here on YouTube named Contrapoints actually has a video where he talks about two different ways beliefs are formed. One is from, what are you doing?
I'm trying to fix the lighting. Oh.
Alright, so basically I'm gonna end up showing you clips from his video where he makes it much more eloquent than I does, and he doesn't have any risk of falling into a lake. Alright, so basically Contrapoints, one of my friends here on YouTube, has a very Pascal-like way of arguing. He was just exploring the question of why don't you believe in God? People were asking. He has some really interesting thoughts about it.
This is the real reason that I'm not religious. The real reason that I'm not religious is not because of something that I read in David Hume's treat, on miracles or whatever. That really is not why I'm not religious. The real reason I'm not religious is that religion is just not a thing that I do. And that sounds like a non-explanation, but I don't think it is. I think it's the best causal story I can tell you about why I'm not religious. I've never really prayed, and I don't do any religious rituals. So I'm just not in the habit of doing religion. Religion as an activity, as a practice. It's not something I do. When you ask me, when a religious person says, why aren't you religious? I feel, obligated to give them a reason. And the reason can't be because religion is not a thing I do. Because that's not what they mean by reason. They don't want a causal story. They want a justification. And then that's when I'm going to turn to philosophy, when I give them a justification. But a justification is often a post hoc thing. It's an explanation, a rationalization, in Freud's term, for a thing that we already do.
I don't actually end up agreeing with him at the end of the day, but most of his videos are thought-provoking. So while Pascal's wager doesn't prove or disprove the existence of God, in fact it doesn't even try to, what it does do is give us reasons not to be apathetic about the issue. It gives us, it shows us that it's an important question to consider. So as always, test everything, hold on to the good.
Which ones record? Start, stop?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my god. Alright, I don't have one of these.
Water, please. So shift, no, you can keep recording. Just shift to the middle of the boat so I can film this thing.
Ah, jeez.
Shift, woman. Shift.
I'm oh, right. Shifting. It's your workout video. So,
I'm not
skinny guy journey.
In the middle of the boat is where it's not.
Skinny guy journey. How did your
Place it in the middle, woman. Good God.
Oh my god. Goodness gracious. Oh jeez. Yes. Ow.
Recorded. Reasons to consider important questions.
Lake water.
It frustrates me so much when trying to paddle this when you're not.
Okay, I'll sit in the